just want to jump straight into it and saying that we finally got our final. Honestly speaking, I have no idea what I'm looking at here. There are two wires in particular, two wire bundles in particular that I don't know what it's for. That one and this one. No idea. I'm sure we'll figure it out along the way. Let's put this wire harness on. Let's get the engine mounted into the car, and then there's a bunch of other procedures I gotta do in order to get this thing ready to start. We gotta bleed our power steering. We gotta bleed our clutch. Don't need to mess with the brakes. We gotta fill both the engine and the transmission with fluid, and I need to make a couple of small adjustments and repairs. I do believe that I crushed my power steering hard lines when I was taking the motor out. So I got a replacement for that. We're gonna be doing that as well. Right now I'm trying to mount up the transmission mount onto the transmission. I thought you could use the 370Z transmission mount. In fact, you can't. You have to use the G35 transmission mount in order to bolt up. It is the same size bolts for both the JK and CD09, but as you can see here, the length of the mount itself, the G35 is much longer than the 370Zs. So we're putting on these motor mounts, and then we go over to this side, try to figure out, hey, where the fuck is the other motor mount? That motherfucker is broken off, and I hadn't noticed it till right now, man. So I gotta try to order a new bracket. That sucks. Also still trying to figure out where the fuck this damn wire goes, man. I have no idea. Probably the starter alternator wire, but I don't know how this thing even goes on. We'll get it figured out. It took us absolutely too long to get these parts. We got ourselves a motor mount and we figured out actually what that wire goes to and how it mounts up. I am determined to get the engine in, so we are gonna do this before the night is over. I spent last night getting the VHR into the car. I didn't completely put it into the car because I do not have the correct connector for this heater hose line that goes into the firewall. What's crazy about it is I actually do have one that came off of the G35, but those things actually do break. They're like age, and then they'll wear off, snap off, get stuck in a hose, and then you'll be fucked both ways. So what I did is I ordered a titanium one off of Amazon. It should be coming in today. We're gonna connect everything else up until that point. So we're gonna do all of our hoses for our radiator, the PCV, all that stuff. We're just gonna get all the hoses on, timing belt on, wire harness into the firewall for the ECU, hook up our power steering. We definitely gotta get our fuel system hooked up. We gotta figure out where we're gonna mount it, somewhere in the back, but that'll probably come after the hose gets set up. Then hopefully it doesn't take forever for that piece to get here so we can get the engine in, we can get everything hooked up, we can get all of this stuff bled before we can start the engine, and I gotta hit up Specialty Z so we can get a sweet USB tune. So we got all our hoses on, radiator, heater core, all that stuff. Please remember, guys, do not forget to hook up your evap lines. I completely forgot to hook up my evap line, so I had to pull the engine all the way back out so we can get it back in. I did put the belt on as well. And one thing to consider is in the back, your heater core line on your driver's side, it routes around, and on the VHR there's a bracket that holds on the connector for the O2 sensor on your header. I ended up having to cut that off so I can route the heater line underneath this here metal sticking out here at the bottom. I don't know if you guys can see it. There's not a lot of clearance back there. It's supposed to route next to it or over it on the regular DE, but on the VHR it's not going to be able to. On the DE, the power steering line has a bracket on there, or like a little like a guide pin essentially. I don't know, it's like a guide bracket. I had to cut that off so that it was able to mount onto the VHR's power steering pump. You could do that, or I've seen on a forum that if you use the 2008 HR or just an HR power steering pump, it'll be able to work, because it will have that little bracket adapter piece on, as well as having the correct pulley on there, because I believe the DE has 5 grooves and the HR and VHR have 6 groove pulleys. Jesus Christ, man, it's been a hell of a day running back and forth, getting parts, little hoses, little bolts here and there. I broke off the freaking bolt for my transmission mount bushing. The single one that goes through, over torqued it, snapped it completely in half. Man, it's just been a day running back and forth to AutoZone, Napa Auto Parts and all that stuff. I'm exhausted. The G is damn near ready to be put together. I just got done wiring everything with the 370 ECU. I'm still missing a piece required to finish it regarding the harness. I need the AC control module. They didn't include that in the harness. They should have, so I gotta get on the phone with them tomorrow. I gotta get a drop tune tomorrow so we can actually start it, and I'm gonna finish up putting the whole front of the car together. But I think that's all the recording I'm gonna do for tonight. I'm getting pretty tired and my battery's about to die, and I really want to listen to some music. So if you're just sitting around on YouTube and you're trying to figure out, hey, what the fuck am I gonna watch next? How about this one? Or this one?